This is the Cholo News Report for Monday 03 December 2018. The 24th Conference of the Parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change convenes in Katowice, Poland. What ministers and other leaders say and do in Katowice at COP24 will help determine efforts for years to come and either bring the world closer to meeting the goals of the Paris Agreement, including protecting those most vulnerable to climate change, or push action further down the road. The IP report made crystal clear that every bit of warming matters, especially for the least developed countries, said Gebru Jemberendelu, who chairs the group of poorest nations in the negotiations. You have to recognize that things that negotiators and others have worked so hard to put in place are making a real difference, said Achim Steiner, who heads the United Nations Development Programme. The far-right and anti-immigration Vox enters for the first time in the history of Spanish democracy in a legislative chamber with 12 seats. The first right-wing majority in the parliament can knock down the 40-year socialist government. The socialists won just 33 of the 109 seats in the regional parliament, according to provisional results, released late Sunday, with 94% of the votes counted. Ahead of the expected coalition negotiations in Andalusia, neither the Popular Party nor Ciudadanos on Sunday ruled out joining forces with Vox to oust the socialists. Though the Spanish economy done better since a banking bailout in 2012, Andalusia remains a bleak spot in terms of economic performance, and has high unemployment. The United States and China agree to hold new trade tariffs for 90 days to allow for talks. President Trump said earlier this year he wanted to stop the unfair transfers of American technology and intellectual property to China. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi told reporters after the talks that the principal agreement has effectively prevented further expansion of economic friction between the two countries. Mr. Trump had also said that if talks in Argentina were unsuccessful, he would carry out a threat to hit the remaining 267 of annual Chinese exports to the United States with tariffs of between 10 and 25. Word of the deal, which essentially sets up the process for more negotiation, came hours after Trump met with Chinese President Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the G20 summit here and after Air Force One had departed for Washington. This was an amazing and productive meeting with unlimited possibilities for both the United States and China, Trump said in a statement released by the White House. But if negotiators can't come to a broader agreement at the end of the time, the tariffs will rise, White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said in a statement. Andrés Manuel López Obrador is sworn in as the 58th President of Mexico. The silver-haired 64-year-old, who counts Labor leader Jeremy Corbyn as a close friend, won a historic victory in July, bringing the Mexican left to power after 30 years of dashed expectations.